Hello everyone, Mark here. Today's video was a tough one for me to make. You see, last week I had a gear up landing in the Seamax. Everyone is fine. The aircraft has very minimal surface damage to the hull. But this is still a sobering event that has lessons for all of us. So let's see what we can learn from this event. I know what you're all thinking, but it wasn't a failure to put the gear handle in the down position. I'm very fastidious about that. And it wasn't a failure to check for safe gear indications either. It was a mechanical failure. But in the end, I know I was responsible. I'm saddened, embarrassed, and humbled by this event. Let's look at what happened and see if you can figure out the one thing I could have done to prevent it. As you can see, I did put the gear handle into the down position as part of my pre-landing flow and checks. You can also see that I checked for safe gear indications on the panel as well. So what could I have done to prevent this event? I usually do it on every landing on the ground, but for some reason this time I didn't do it. What is it? Did you figure it out? I didn't visually check out my window to see the gear was actually down despite my actions and panel indications. Had I done that, I would have seen there was a problem, and I would have had the option of landing in the water nearby to diagnose the problem. By not visually checking gear deployment, I eliminated this option, and I suffered the consequences of a gear up landing. So now that we've seen what happened and what I could have done to prevent it, let's discuss why this happened. How is it that I can put the gear handle down and get safe gear indications, but still have the gear up? Well, if you've seen our annual inspection video, you'll recall that our Seamax uses a jack screw that is powered by an electric motor to raise and lower the gear. The gear handle is essentially an electric switch that tells the electric motor on the jack screw to turn one way to raise the gear and the other way to lower the gear. A threaded follower or shuttle moves up and down the jack screw and provides the mechanical motion to move the gear assemblies up and down. The system utilizes squat switches at the upper and lower limits of the jack screw. After takeoff, when the gear is selected up, the gear switch powers the jack screw motor to turn and moves the threaded shuttle up the jack screw. When the gear reaches the fully retracted position, the shuttle contacts the upper squat switch, which then stops the retraction process by de-energizing the jack screw motor. Similarly, when the gear handle is later selected to the down position, the jack screw motor is energized to turn in the opposite direction, which drives the shuttle down the jack screw and lowers the gear. When the gear reaches the fully extended position, the shuttle contacts the lower squat switch. When this happens, again, the jack screw motor is de-energized and the gear down lights are eliminated. In this event, after the gear was retracted after takeoff, for some reason, the lower jack screw squat switch remained in the closed position. I know this because after I got the airplane onto its jacks to put the gear down after the incident, I had to manually open the switch by hand and heard and felt an audible click when I did so. I have not determined the reason yet of why this was closed, but it could be corrosion or contamination from grease off the jack screw assembly. Regardless of the reason, in this condition, when the gear was subsequently selected down for landing, the closed position of this switch prevented the jack screw motor from energizing and moving the shuttle in the down direction. This closed switch was essentially telling the system that the gear was already in the down position. Being closed, it also gave me safe gear indications that, to my chagrin, I did not verify visually. After the incident, when I manually opened the squat switch, The gear deployed normally, and after I removed the jacks, I was able to taxi back to the hangar without further problems. Well, while it certainly is a bummer to have damage to our wonderful Seamax, and she's down for the count until we effect repairs, please stay tuned. We'll have some videos up of those repairs and me learning new skills like fiberglass work and painting. And we'll also have some videos up as well of a bunch of flights I did prior to this event with a number of folks to introduce them to the world of aquatic aviation and flip-flop flying. We do appreciate you coming by, and we do hope to see you again. We hope you learned something from this incident and from this video. Remember to check that gear visually always. Stay safe. See you around the skies. Cheers.